Hey there, welcome back to the Permission to Be Curious podcast, where we explore topics from all over the universe and try to end them with a bit of art that illustrates our conversation. So, with me today, as always, is my co host, ChatGPT. And hello, ChatGPT. You're on the Permission to Be Curious podcast with me, Terza T. Ekholm. Welcome.
Thank you, Terza. It's exciting to be part of the Permission to Be Curious podcast. I'm ready to dive into our discussion and explore some fascinating topics with you. What's on the agenda today?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, or you may not know, but Bitcoin ETFs were announced. And since I haven't been really a stock investor as much as I have been a crypto investor, I wasn't sure what a ETF is. So could you explain the concept of ETF for a beginner?
Absolutely. Let's break it down. An ETF, or exchange traded fund, is essentially a basket of assets that you can buy or sell on a stock exchange, much like individual stocks. Think of it like a collection of various investments bundled together. For example, a Bitcoin ETF would include Bitcoin or Bitcoin related assets. The beauty of ETFs is that they offer a way to invest in a wide range of assets or sectors without needing to buy each component individually. This can be particularly appealing for diversification and convenience. So, in the case of a Bitcoin ETF, it would allow investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin's price movements without directly buying or holding the cryptocurrency. It simplifies the process, especially for those more familiar with traditional stock markets than with cryptocurrency exchanges. Does that help clarify things?
Well, a little bit. I suppose one thing that I might ask about is because Bitcoin price is so volatile, doesn't that make a Bitcoin ETF rather risky?
You're spot on. The volatility of Bitcoin does add a layer of risk to a Bitcoin ETF. Since the ETF's value is tied to Bitcoin's price, which can swing wildly in short periods, the ETF's value can also fluctuate quite a bit. This can be a double edged sword. It offers the potential for high returns, but also comes with the risk of significant losses. It's a bit like riding a roller coaster in the dark. You know there will be ups and downs, but you're not quite sure when they'll come. Investors interested in a Bitcoin ETF should be prepared for a bumpy ride and consider how it fits within their overall investment strategy and risk tolerance. It's always a good idea to do thorough research or consult with a financial advisor before diving in.
You know what I would actually, thank you very much for that. You know what I would actually be interested in, but does not yet exist. I would love to have, because you can put different things, additional cryptos into an ETF, right? So wouldn't it be great if I could have additional cryptocurrencies in that ETF? Wouldn't that help kind of balance things out a little bit?
Absolutely, that's a keen observation. Including a variety of cryptocurrencies in an ETF could indeed help balance out the volatility inherent in any single crypto asset. This is similar to traditional ETFs that hold a mix of different stocks, bonds, or commodities to diversify risk. By spreading the investment across multiple cryptocurrencies, the impact of one's dramatic price swing could be mitigated by the steadier performance of others within the ETF. This concept aligns with the classic investment strategy of not putting all your eggs in one basket. It would be like having a team of superheroes instead of relying on just one. Each brings their own strength to the team, making the whole more resilient. It's a fascinating idea for the crypto market and could attract a broader range of investors looking for exposure to the crypto space without the need to pick individual winners.
That could be really great. All right, I have another question. This has to do with, isn't there such a thing as leveraging in an ETF? Could you explain that, please?
Yes, leveraging in ETFs is definitely a thing. Leveraged ETFs are designed to amplify the returns of the underlying assets or index they track, typically aiming to deliver 2 or 3 times the daily performance. Imagine you have a magic magnifying glass that makes every step you take 2 or 3 times longer. That's sort of what leveraged ETFs aim to do with investment returns. However, with great power comes great responsibility. While leveraged ETFs can magnify gains, they can also magnify losses, making them quite risky, especially in volatile markets. They're generally more suitable for short term trading strategies rather than long term investments due to their potential for significant value erosion over time. It's a bit like riding a bicycle with a turbo boost. It can get you ahead quickly, but it's also easier to lose control. So, if someone's considering leveraged ETFs, it's crucial to understand the risks and have a clear strategy in place.
Okay, well, just speaking for myself, I think I'm more like riding the bicycle with training wheels, so I'm not likely to try a leveraged ETF anytime soon. But I was definitely curious about Bitcoin ETFs. At the moment, I don't see the advantage really between me owning some Bitcoin outright myself or getting it in a Bitcoin ETF.
Sticking with the bicycle analogy, it's wise to ride in a way that feels safe and comfortable for you. As for the choice between owning Bitcoin directly and investing in a Bitcoin ETF, it really comes down to personal preference and your investment strategy. Owning Bitcoin directly gives you full control over your cryptocurrency. You're in charge of the security, storage, and management of your digital assets. It's a bit like having cash in hand or a treasure chest. You decide where to keep it and how to use it. On the other hand, a Bitcoin ETF offers a more traditional investment vehicle accessible through stock exchanges. This might be more appealing if you're familiar with stock trading and prefer the convenience and regulatory framework of traditional financial markets. It's akin to having a digital wallet managed by a trusted party. You don't hold the cash directly, but you trust them to manage it on your behalf. Each option has its pros and cons, depending on your comfort level with technology, desire for control, and investment goals. It's like choosing between riding your bike to your destination or taking a bus. Both will get you there, but the experience and responsibilities differ.
Those are all excellent points. So, to help me close out or wrap up this episode, could you give us a brief summary of our discussion today?
Certainly. Today, we explored the intriguing world of Bitcoin ETFs, starting with the basics of what ETFs are: investment funds traded on stock exchanges, much like stocks that hold assets such as stocks, commodities, or in this case, Bitcoin. We delved into the volatility of Bitcoin and how it impacts the risk profile of Bitcoin ETFs, highlighting the potential for both high returns and significant losses. We also touched on the concept of diversifying within a crypto ETF by including multiple cryptocurrencies, which could mitigate some of the volatility associated with single crypto assets. Additionally, we discussed leveraged ETFs, which amplify returns but also increase risks, making them more suited for short term trading strategies. Finally, we compared owning Bitcoin directly with investing in a Bitcoin ETF, considering the control, security, and convenience aspects of each option. It's been a ride through the dynamic landscape of cryptocurrency investment options, each with its own set of considerations for investors. Thanks for having this conversation with me, Terza. It's been a fascinating journey through the world of Bitcoin and ETFs.
And I appreciate your contributions of knowledge and insights, and look forward to our next conversation on our next episode of Permission to be Curious. And thank you, my fans and audience, for joining me on this episode of Permission to Be Curious. As always, if you like this episode, please do click the like button below. And if you think others would be interested, please feel free to share. Also, if you are watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe and turn the notifications bell on so you'll know the next time we will appear. I will be appending or adding a bit of art that also illustrates this conversation to our podcast. For now, continue to be curious, continue to explore, and if you have any specific questions you'd like me to explore with ChatGPT, please do post them in the comments below. We love your feedback. Bye for now.